Hey everyone, everything I'm about to explain has been tested and confirmed by the professionals here at the shop, so don't worry, this does have a solution. When the message Service Electronic Throttle Control pops up on a Ram 1500, the first thing that comes to mind is, great, something expensive just broke. But take a breath. In most cases, it's not the end of the world, and definitely not a dead throttle body. According to mechanics who deal with this all the time, the problem is often much simpler than it sounds. To make it easy to understand, these trucks no longer use an old-school mechanical throttle. Everything is electronic. The pedal sends a signal, the computer reads it, and the engine responds. So if any part of that communication sends weird or inconsistent information, the truck protects itself and throws the warning. It's kind of like your body saying, something feels off, let's slow things down before it gets worse. Now, one of the most common causes, and something most people don't expect, is the battery. Yep, just the battery. A week-old or unstable battery can confuse the entire electronic system. A lot of owners who came into this shop said the warning popped up right when their battery was on its last legs, and disappeared completely after replacing it. The throttle system is very sensitive to voltage, so if the power isn't steady, it complains. Moving on from that, another big factor is dirty sensors, especially on diesel engines. The MAP sensor and the EGR system can build up carbon over time. When that happens, the computer starts getting bad data, and boom, warning light. Several mechanics here have seen the issue fixed just by cleaning those sensors and clearing the code. No expensive parts, just basic maintenance. Now, sometimes the problem isn't the sensor itself, but the electrical connections. A loose plug, moisture, vibration, or a slightly damaged wire can cause bad communication. When that happens, the system goes into protection mode. One mechanic even told me that simply reseating a connector or checking the wiring made the message disappear instantly. Here's something interesting. Sometimes the message just comes and goes on its own. You shut the truck off, turn it back on, and it's gone. That happens because the system detected a temporary issue, went into safe mode, and once everything looked normal again, it reset itself. Kind of like rebooting your phone when it freezes. That said, if the message keeps coming back or the truck goes into limp mode, you shouldn't ignore it. At that point, most mechanics recommend scanning the truck with a more advanced scanner. Not a basic one, because intermittent faults don't always store permanent codes. That's why some shops say we can't find anything until the problem shows up again. Finally, it's also been seen that aftermarket electronics, add-on modules, or even extreme weather like heavy cold or humidity can trigger this warning. Nothing is actually broken, but the system gets sensitive and chooses to protect itself. So in short, don't panic. Most of the time, this warning is more of an electronic hiccup than a major failure. And with a little checking, your RAM is usually back to normal without breaking the bank.